This is episode 129. Are you a builder or a wrecker? Welcome to Alive by Design. My name is Blake Mallon, and we're here to bring you inspiring people, principles, and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. Open your mind and let's dive in. Hey guys, before you listen to the podcast, I just want to drop in and say I appreciate you for being here, and I'm super excited about this new Walk With Me series. These are solo episodes where I take some time in the middle of my morning run through the Santa Monica Mountains to share some inspired ideas and thoughts on my mind and heart. If you want to join me for any of these conversations live, you can catch me many mornings on my Facebook page, facebook.com/BlakeMallon.page. Would love to see you there. Love you guys. Enjoy the episode. Walk with me. So there was a day last week that was pretty crazy in my world. Had 3 totally separate events, actually involving 3 totally different groups of people in different parts of the world. Fairly dramatic events, each of them in their own right, all collide on the exact same day. It was one of those days where you just had to wake up, look up, and say there's got to be some deeper meaning to what's going on to have not just one, not just 2, but 3 fairly large events all collide. And every one of them reminding me of a super important choice. A choice that every single one of us have every single day. And I think it's one of the most important choices we get to make decisions on, not just in our day, our week, our month, but the decisions we make involving that choice, I think ultimately have a dramatic impact on our own life and impact we want to make. And I want to get to that choice. And it's a choice that I know all of you have faced, do face, will continue to face. You might not even have ever thought about the fact that it is a choice every day. But before we get to what that choice is, it reminded me of a story of the first time that I was taught this lesson. The first time that anybody ever highlighted that, hey, this was a choice. At least the first time that I remember in my life. And it's a pretty vivid memory. It's something that I come back to and have come back to fairly frequently over the last, 20 plus years since I learned it. And it's definitely a story that hit me hard last week on this day. And it was actually my freshman year of high school. So we'll go back. I played water polo in high school. Some of you guys may not even know what that sport is. So water polo, that yellow ball, those 2 nets, a whole lot of swimming and shredding water. Enjoyed the sport. And I remember my freshman year, I had 2 coaches that I looked up to. Not only great water polo players, but just great human beings, great individuals, younger, fit, just coming off kind of the prime of their career. And both of them were actually almost entirely deaf. So didn't have full use of their hearing. And they took that and actually applied it to their athletic ability and went on to actually play on the Special Olympics team for the U.S. for water polo. So they were Olympians. And it was awesome to have them as my freshman year water polo coach, despite the crazy, fanatic, excessive swimming, running, and drills they used to make us do. Love you for it. And one day, and I don't know what would have spurred this, because it definitely didn't have anything to do with water polo per se, they asked us to get out of the pool and sit on the bench, the little cement bench on the edge of the high school pool. And they handed us all a little piece of paper with a poem on it. And they read it out loud to us. And at that point, they had it recited by memory. And the poem is called The Builder. And I want to give that poem as a gift to you all today, as a thing that came up in my mind last week and a reminder of the choice we all have. And the way The Builder goes is, I saw a group of men in my hometown. I saw a group of men tearing a building down. With a heave and a hoe and a mighty yell, they swung a beam and the sidewalk fell. So I said to the foreman, "Are these men skilled? The type you'd hire if you wanted to build?" And he laughed and he said, "Why, no, indeed. Common labor is all I need. For I can tear down in just a day or two that which took a skilled builder 10 years to do." And I thought to myself, as I walked away, which of these roles am I going to play? Am I the type that constantly tears down as I make my way foolishly around? Or am I the type that builds with care and hope that family, my community, my organization will be glad that I was there? The Builder. Kind of a cool one. And it's crazy. I've remembered that poem now, 20 plus years, 25 plus years, aging myself. Matter of fact, I kept the original piece of paper they handed out. For some reason, I put it on my pegboard in my bedroom back in my freshman year, and I kept it on a pegboard all the way through college and still have it today in my home office. And I think it illustrates a really, really important lesson, a choice, right? That we all have to make, that we all get to make every single day. And that choice is, are we someone that invests our time, our intention, our energy into building things up, building others up? Or do I invest my time, my effort, my energy into tearing things down, tearing others down? And you might say, well, Blake, it's not that linear. Well, kind of can be. Not only on the big picture of, some weeds growing over here. It looks like I'm walking through the forest, huh? Not only in the big picture of what we choose to do for like our career, our profession, but also situationally, right? What we choose to do in a circumstance, in a moment, as we face certain things. And you might say, well, Blake, are there like really professions that do that consistently? Yes! There are. We all know this. It's sad that we have people on both sides of the lines, or that there are a lot of professions that are constructed to really live on that side of tearing down. In business, as entrepreneurs, especially the bigger business you start to play at. Take a seat here. Here's a little view from the top. Got the cloud layer today. I'll take a seat with y'all if that's okay. You come to learn this, right? And there could be, anybody from people on Wall Street that, really focus on shorting stocks, and a lot of times will lead to certain tactics to tear down companies or brands for the profit, right, of the decline in the stock value. A lot of times you'll have people that they are critics professionally And beyond critics, objectively, there's nothing wrong with challenging arguments. There's nothing wrong with asking critical questions. There's nothing wrong with, being critical of certain things you maybe disagree with. But we all know there's people that go beyond that, the trolls, if you will, of the internet that will do anything they can to take down, right, other individuals. We see them in the comment threads, all right, on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and people that live on that side of the equation, right, focused on tearing down. It's interesting. I thought I was going to school to become a lawyer, and I'm glad I didn't, for many reasons. I love what I get to do now, and I love the creation side and the inspiration side of working with communities of entrepreneurs and micropreneurs. But there's some great lawyers out there, and there's also lawyers that have decided to pick a niche where they focus on attacking and tearing down. And it's sad we live, especially in the U.S., in a judicial system where you can launch lawsuits without any basis or merit, and there's firms that have entire business models off really attacking companies because they know it's cheaper to settle or to have an insurance claim come up and help settle than it is to pay legal bills or fight with the drama. And there's entire business models built out of attacking and tearing down, and some of which are meritless, right? Have zero ground. So I can go on and on and on in the business world, right? The negative energy around that. Politicians whose primary tactic is to defame another individual, right, or their opponent as a means of elevating themselves, squashing or pushing others or limiting others to elevate themselves. We've all seen these tactics. A lot of us have gotten just overly sick or even desensitized to these tactics in politics over the last couple years. And the list, right? And it's not just in business, right? It's not just in that aspect. We can go all the way back to the playground. I think of my son who's in kindergarten. I can't believe he's almost finishing his first year of kindergarten. He's already excited about going into first grade. I'm like, where does the time go? But, I think about him on the playgrounds and there's going to be the kids on the playgrounds that are the quote unquote bully that try to elevate their feelings of themselves, their own significance by making fun of others or cracking jokes at others or bullying others. And I know bullying is, something that's been a conversation, right? An important conversation for our next generation for years. And whether it's the bully on the playground, right, or the bully with the pen, or the bully in the law room, or the bully on Wall Street, it's all the same thing when we're talking about the choice, right? The choice of putting energy into tearing down as opposed to putting energy into building, right? To creating. And I know the energy just around thinking about all that, you can feel, right? You can feel like, and some of you guys are probably thinking about certain people, right, or organizations that fall into that vein, if not all the time, at least sometimes. The good news is there's the other side of the coin, right? There's the building side. And for every person you can think on the tearing down side, you can think of a person on the building side. The thing I love about entrepreneurs, the spirit of entrepreneurship, whether you're someone just taking the leap on a micro-entrepreneur, a micro-enterprise, a solopreneur, right, to someone that's maybe leading large organizations, what I love about the essence of entrepreneurship is in its spirit, it's about building, right? It's about creating. It's about taking an idea and putting a passion and an energy in a direction and starting with a blank slate, starting with, a blank page, starting with nothing and creating something that can add value. It's about building, and there's so many careers and professions. You think about amazing teachers. We all have that one or two teacher, that we can remember in our past that made us believe, right? That one amazing teacher that made us feel more about ourselves, right? Better about ourselves. Something just like a powerful teacher who is a builder, who builds people up, lifts people up. That teacher can have such a dramatic impact on so many future lives, right? In a classroom. My hat's off to amazing teachers out there, or, anybody that has built a platform today. What I love about where we're at in the social media world, there's a long list of things I know that we have to overcome and learn how to live with, and the negative list we know about. But there's the positive where you can have anybody with a purpose, anybody on fire can develop a reach and an influence to make a real impact. And my hat's off to all of the, whatever you want to call influencers or celebrities or people that have created a platform to elevate their voice, that are lifting each other up, that are building each other up, that are pouring into others, that are adding value to other people out there, many of which they'll never know, right? Many of which never interact, but they're builders. They're people that are building. They're making a choice every day to build and lift up, right? What are some of the people or professions that come to your mind right now of people that are builders, right? Take a minute and just give a silent thank you, right, to the people in your life that are builders. Maybe the people that in your life have lifted you up at some point, right? Maybe they're people around you that give that energy to those around them, right? And we got to make sure that we acknowledge that, because there are so many people on the side of the coin that are tearing down things, tearing down people, that we need to make sure that we're overly balanced on the other end with people that are builders, people that are building up not only ideas, right? Not only things, products, companies, communities, movements, right? Change, transformation, social impact, but also that do it on a personal level, on a one-on-one level, on taking a moment and pausing and saying, hey, you got this, you can do this, you are better than this, you have this, right? Those little comments on an individual level are just as important in that one world to the great entrepreneur that's changing an industry, right? It comes down to the impact you make on someone's life because you invest in building in. And, we talk about that choice, right? Do you tear down? Do you build up? And it comes down, in my mind, to the intention around it. The intention matters. Intention matters. And when I look at both sides of the equation, I look at, in both scenarios, it's okay to want to advance yourself. There's nothing wrong with having a desire to grow. There's nothing wrong with having a desire for quote unquote success. I hate that word because I think it needs to be redefined from so many people's, personal definitions, right? But to have a success, to achieve a lifestyle you want, to get to where you want to go, to advance yourself, to grow. You guys, that's a part of life, right? We want to be growing. We should be growing. We need to be growing, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But to try to advance yourself, you got to look at it in the context of others. We don't live on our own planet, right? It's not just one of one. We're, one of whatever, 7-8 billion people on the planet. So you have to look at everything in the context of each other, of one another, of those around you. And if you're trying to advance yourself at the detriment of others, if you're trying to chase the dollar, get the like, grow the fame, feed the significance, right? Chase the success at the detriment of any other. That could be one other person, let alone hundreds or thousands of other people. Then you're on the side of tearing down. And it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to try to advance yourself by trying to limit others. This isn't about suppression or pushing other people down so you can get a neck ahead. Sure, there are people, plenty of which in the professions I mentioned, that make a lot of money doing that. There are people that can get elevated power, unfortunately, by doing that. You can get fame by doing that. We all know people who have. Let's not be naive. As a tactic or a strategy, there are people that get the fame, the money, the power, the glory, right, by tearing others down constantly. But here's what I'll tell you. Do they really win? Do they really win? Because anybody I've ever seen that's taken that side of the coin, taken that path, sure, they may have the dollars in a bank account or the fame on a social following. But at the end of the day, when they're going to bed at night, are they happy with themselves? Do they love themselves? Do they really feel meaning in the time they're putting in? Or are they going to bed at night with all the things they thought they wanted, even more miserable, right, than they were before they had them? You guys, I know a lot of people on that side of the coin, and it's because, in my opinion, if you advance yourself at the detriment of others, you're never going to win in the game of life, right? Forget the game of success or the game of business, but in the game of life, you're not going to win. Because call it a spiritual law, call it a universal law, call it whatever your belief system is. In my opinion, you got to be on the other side of the coin. Now, the good news is there is the other side of the coin because you can grow. You can advance yourself. You can go after all the things that you want and desire. And you can do that not by limiting others, but by lifting others, right? Not by breaking people down, but by building people up, right? And that's what the essence of a builder is. It comes down to adding or creating value in and around and for others. And as an entrepreneur or as a teacher, as an individual, if you're creating value in one or more people, right, you're a builder. And the more value that you're able to create, sure, the more reward you should get. And you guys, that's a great exchange. Give value, lift people up, make a difference, and get ahead doing it. Be a builder. And you guys, the sky has no limit. Look up there. It has no limit. You can build anything as far and as wide and as great of an impact that you want. And if you do it on that side of the coin of being a builder, I promise you, not only can you achieve the things you want, but you're going to close your eyes at night being fulfilled and happy, right? Not only with yourself, but what you do. And you guys, it comes down to the intention. And I wanted to have this conversation today because, again, there was just a startling wake-up call last week that just reminded me, again, man, there are two types of people. Right, those that tear down and those that build up. Those that tear people down and tear things down in the spirit of getting ahead, and those that build people up and build things up. Creators, right? You see my hat for those of you guys watching the video. The essence of creation is value creation, is building. And that's a choice we all have to make every single day. It's a choice we get to make in the career, our profession that we're on. It's a choice we get to make in every situation as we interact with a single other individual. And if we look at that and leave every conversation or every situation and ask, hey, what side am I on right now? Am I tearing down or am I building up? Because that little awareness might just make us, not only better entrepreneurs, but better people all around. And imagine a world where we're full of builders. I'd love to live in a world where not only there's more builders, but there's a lot more builders, right? Building people up than tearing things down. And for those that out there and run into people that are tearing down, hey, give them love. Right? But acknowledge and be aware of the intention and then send them love because they probably need it more than anybody else. But don't let them influence you. Don't let them, keep you from getting to where you want to go. Don't let them suck your life or suck your energy. Send them love because they need it and move on and be a builder for yourself and for the people around you. Here's one more view from the top. Sun is starting to come out. Beautiful day. And until the next time we walk together, I challenge all of you to be a builder in your life every single day. Be a builder for the people around you. Be a builder in whatever profession you choose to invest your life in because the world needs more builders. Take care, everybody.
Hey guys, one last thing. I'm super excited that this new podcast, Alive by Design, just went live. You see, I designed the show to bring you inspired thoughts and fascinating conversations with the world's most impactful people, to provide transformative principles and practices to help you wake up, move toward your meant to, and feel fully alive. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word now. Simply subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on this platform right now. So if I've ever given you value, please do me this personal favor and go subscribe now. And if you found today's episode helpful in any way, make sure you share this with at least one friend today. You have the power right now to change someone's day. So send them a text message with a link to alivebydesign.com or simply copy and paste the link right from this podcast platform. Who's one person you know right now that you want to see succeed, that you want to see grow, that you want to see feel more alive? Shoot them a text with your largest takeaway from today and be a light in their day. And if you were referred here by a friend, make sure you shoot them a text back and say thank you. I'd love to hear from you directly on what you got from today's podcast. So if you're up for it, drop by my Instagram @BlakeMallon and shoot me a DM. And as always, thank you for showing up. I'm grateful for you. And I hope our time together today in some small way helped you feel a little more alive. Until next time.